Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan battle video for you. In this video we're going to be looking at how you can beat all the missions for the Seriously Serious event All Out Battles Stage 5. So we'll be doing two separate runs with two different teams. Here are the two teams for the first run. So I've got my team on the left there, and if you can't make that exact team, I've just got a second team that you can pull from some of the units on the right there. Hopefully you can make it. Make sure you bring the Tech, Frieza and Gogeta as your lead. They're going to be a great help over just the 200% Broly. So yeah, just make sure you bring them as your friend lead if you don't have them as a lead and you weren't able to pull them. But let's jump right in to the boss. It's just going to be one boss. You're going to be fighting against STR Broly. Now, he doesn't have a plethora of mechanics that you have to watch out for. He's going to be disabling defense reduction, he nullifies super attack ceiling, he grants immunity to being stunned, and he reduces damage below a certain amount to 0. So not the most crazy boss in terms of mechanics, and he is going to be sporting 200 million health, as well as doing 2.49, let's round up, 2.5 million supers. So not the most difficult boss we've ever seen, but he can definitely catch out some units, especially when you are trying to do these missions, because movie bosses are not the greatest. Look, they haven't got not that it's a trash category or anything like that. The biggest problem with them is just the damage output, I'm finding, where the new unit is great and you can get some good damage output. So this Tech Frieza / Gogeta, very helpful, do a lot of damage. And when you can get to Gogeta, which does admittedly take quite a while on an extreme team, when you can get to Gogeta, he can really start pumping out some numbers. And Frieza is really, really tanky. He saw him take a super there for 39,000. He can get very tanky very quickly. And having Frieza's taunt as well is so useful for those, especially because you can just pop it whenever you want. And yeah, it can be incredibly useful. Now, one of the problems with this category that I mentioned a little bit earlier was that there's not a ton of damage, unfortunately. They definitely need some help, this movie bosses category. We need one or two more big damage dealing units. We can't just be relying on Tech Frieza, because honestly in his Frieza form he's doing okay damage. Absolutely wild that 18, 19, 20 million is okay damage, but that's just the truth of it now. And we need another unit or two to do some big damage, especially for movie bosses, how long it takes to get to Gogeta. But yeah, anyway, that's a little TED talk about movie bosses over. This is how you get it done. Don't really stress about saving your active for Frieza. You're not going to be able to use Frieza's active as swapping into Gogeta, because there's no super class allies on this team. Everyone's extreme class, so it is going to take 5 turns to get to Gogeta, and then you are going to swap into him and just do damage. So use Frieza's taunt whenever you feel like you are a bit worried. Just a couple of things about Broly as well. Obviously you can't stun, seal, and no defense reduction, but you can attack. Reduce him, so you can, if you have any units that are doing attack reduction, that will still work. And at least Broly is not ramping up or anything like that, so it's not an incredibly difficult boss. Just depends kind of on how your movie boss's category is looking. And Broly can super a lot. Broly can super 2-3 times in a turn. So as you can see here, you do need that slot one. Now, if you don't have the Tech Frieza / Gogeta, bring a friend lead of him, and he can then be your one rotation slot one. And then you can use the Tech Broly movie bosses lead as well. He can also be a good slot one, because he'll have that 76% damage reduction plus guard as a slot 1, and then he does lose the 26% and he only has 50% in guard, but you can survive the super with that. It's not type advantage, you will take some damage, but he can slot 1 and he should be fine as well. So that's what I would do to get this done, and it is a bit of a slog. Again, like I said, there's not a huge amount of damage dealers on movie bosses that are doing a whole lot, but yeah, it will get done eventually. And once you have Gogeta out as well, he will start doing huge damage. One thing I also want to just say about the Tech Broly / Int Broly combination there is you might want to float off Int Broly. He can be a problem if his domain is not up, and it's going to be luck if you get the right units in the right order so that you have an uncontrollable power full rotation so that he can activate that domain. He would have guard then and 60% damage reduction, so he should be good, but without guard he can take a good chunk of damage, so just be careful with Int Broly as well. Yeah, you can run him as a second slot alongside Tech Broly, or you might just want to float him off and run someone else with a bit more defensive chops at the moment. But yeah, that is pretty much how you get the movie bosses one done. It's a bit of a slog, but that would be movie bosses complete, and we will move on to the next mission. Okay, looking at the second mission for the Stage 5, that is going to be bringing 6 members of the Fusion category. So here's my team on the left, and another team I can recommend that should get this done handily. The left side is a little more stacked with really, really powerful units, and the right side is a bit more, not that they're not powerful, just is a little more dodge focused, and at least we can dodge Broly, so that is nice. But yeah, this was pretty much a cakewalk with this team. They just, once everyone gets going and that, they just start doing so much damage. Broly does hit pretty hard. 2.5 million is still nothing to sniff at, but once Gogeta, the key is to no one's surprise, is the AGL Gogeta. Once he gets going, yeah, he just does way too much damage for an STR boss to handle. So this is a much shorter run, and even though we are doing a 0 after 0 after 0 here with the Tech Boys just building up their defense, we will see once we hit AGL Gogeta, we pretty much just obliterate the fight, and especially if you can pop his ulti, his active at the same time, it'll just supercharge him. So if you do have AGL Gogeta, he is gonna just MVP this for you, and no problem. Otherwise, it's no problem. You can definitely get this done, no problem either. And I would just say make sure you're building up your SS4s enough so that they don't come around and get absolutely sniped on their turn before they can transform. Make sure you get some good defense in on them. They do a lot of their supers. You'll see quite a few of them here, and then they should be absolutely fine. Yeah. Not too much else to say. The Blue Boys, the STR Blue Boys are a very good leader skill here for their fusion leader skill, and they just do a huge amount of damage. They can dodge, they can defend, so even if you don't have them, I don't have them, I just bring them as a friend lead, and they are really great for fusion / fuse fighters. They do a great job, so yeah, that is good to have them as a lead there. Otherwise, the rest of this fusion team is still absolute top tier, so they just rip through. I don't think we even get a chance to let AGL Vegeta transform into Gogeta and see him rip everything up there. We don't really get a chance to do that. Jumping ahead a little bit here, the nice thing about bringing the new Tech Frieza / Gogeta on this team is going to be that you're going to get access to Gogeta so much faster. They get 3 turns, as well as you're going to get his active immediately, so you can just do that huge attack boosting, as well as do a massive attack and just do a huge amount of damage, and then go from there. You do need to make sure you're giving him orbs. Not that it mattered here in this run because he just instantly killed, but do give him orbs and he will have a higher chance to dodge, and that's what you want. But that is pretty much all from me. I hope this helps a lot, and thank you so much for watching. I will check you guys in the next one.